3:18 a.m. local time, inside the Integrated Air Defense Command Center in Riyadh. The rapid, high-frequency pinging of the S-band phased array radar surges into a continuous, piercing whine. Simultaneously, the real-time airspace monitoring displays strobe into a state of critical data saturation. At the western vector, adjacent to the Red Sea perimeter, the air defense network protecting the future megacity of NEOM triggers a high-priority alert. 100 Shahed kamikaze drones are verified, hugging the sea surface to exploit the radar horizon. Simultaneously, 1,200 kilometers to the east, bordering the Persian Gulf, crimson alert sirens violently erupt across the Abqaiq oil processing infrastructure. Two high-priority strategic targets, two diametrically opposed strike vectors, but only a single integrated fire control shield available to process the telemetry. Inside the tactical command suite, a ruthless mathematical equation clarifies. If the command elements expend every multi-million-dollar interceptor to sanitize the low-cost drone swarm in the west, the energy heartland in the east will be cleanly perforated by incoming ballistic tracks. If they divide their kinetic assets to protect both vectors, the defensive shroud will degrade to such an acute threshold that a mere 0.1 second latency in execution will permit a single leak, instantly converting a multi-billion-dollar brand asset like NEOM into a global headline of catastrophic failure. The adversary does not expand the battle space through brute force. They expand it by squeezing the superpower into a fatal choice. Do you deploy your shield to salvage the future in the west, or do you hold the line to preserve the lifeblood in the east? At the western vector, the sky over the future megacity of NEOM is abruptly shredded by highly dense, interlacing columns of white smoke. Iran, executing its intent through its Houthi proxy in Yemen, is implementing a cynical scenario, neutralizing advanced technology with an asymmetric cost-attrition formula. The engagement initiates as the AN/MPQ-65 radar array logs an inbound swarm of 108 kinetic entities skimming the wavetops of the Red Sea at a locked velocity of 110 miles per hour. The adversary entirely bypasses standard doctrinal attack profiles. They deliberately shatter the coalition's target classification logic by partitioning the swarm into three morphologically and geometrically distinct tiers. The first tier deploys low-cost Shahed units as sacrificial bait, intentionally cruising at low velocities to exploit the pulse Doppler filter limitations of the fire control radars. Immediately trailing, the second tier utilizes UAVs equipped with corner reflector skins. These units artificially inflate their radar cross-section, RCS, to emulate the flight profile of cruise missiles, forcing the automated engagement logic to prioritize them over legitimate threats. The third tier, trailing at the rear, emits high-bandwidth electronic noise jamming, effectively blinding the secondary data links and forcing Saudi operators into a continuous, high-consumption firing cycle to maintain a lock on the leading tiers. Riyadh rapidly collapses into a suffocating no-win dilemma as the static defense calculus faces immediate financial bankruptcy. Every 6 seconds, a $4 million interceptor missile clears its launch rails, screaming upward only to trade itself for a junk drone built from plastic and a motorcycle engine valued at less than $20,000. The coalition's 96% intercept efficiency becomes a functionally sterile metric, as this strategic inventory burn rate drains the depth of the ground-based magazines before the true storm even makes landfall from the east. The engagement follows the logic of a strategic attrition trap. The issue is not the physical destruction of the infrastructure, but the forced deployment of an elite security grid against low-value assets. It is a calculated economic hemorrhage. The defender is winning the tactical interception, but is undergoing a bankruptcy of munitions, hollowed out by a systemic inventory drain. Engagement 1 is entirely unconcerned with erasing the physical structure of NEOM. It is explicitly programmed to hollow out the strategic missile cells, converting the western shield into a toothless mass of steel right before the actual storm begins to converge from the Persian Gulf. Just as the air defense network protecting the future megacity of NEOM is stretched to its absolute breaking point by the relentless drone swarm, a secondary, highly calculated strike erupts from the northeast, targeting Abqaiq, the critical energy heartland of the entire Gulf. Iran's timing here is no coincidence. This is a sophisticated tactical maneuver designed to exploit the geometric blind spots in the coalition's defensive architecture. While the coalition's primary X-band radar arrays in the west are locked in a processing saturation loop, desperately trying to filter the drone swarm, multiple terrain masking cruise missiles launch from the Persian Gulf. They utilize ultra-low altitude flight profiles, hugging the jagged terrain and salt flats to hide within radar masking pockets, achieving target acquisition in total electronic silence. Saudi Arabia's response is immediate, transitioning its posture into an integrated air defense (IBCS) framework. The chaotic electronic noise floor is rapidly suppressed by the mechanical precision of mobile Patriot batteries, which shift to aggressive frequency hopping techniques, forcing their radar beams to weave through the adversary's electronic curtains to maintain a clear airspace picture. Yet, this remains a brutal game of geometry and distance. The 1,200-kilometer gap separating the two theaters renders every battery in the west physically incapable of reinforcing the east. The dilemma is absolute and unforgiving. Allocate maximum kinetic interceptors to shield NEOM, and Abqaiq falls to ballistic inevitability. Prioritize the protection of Abqaiq, and NEOM suffers a catastrophic, high-profile collapse under the weight of the self-detonating swarm. It is functionally identical to a fire department equipped with a single truck, faced with two simultaneous high-intensity infernos at opposite ends of a sprawling city. No matter the proficiency or tactical discipline of the firefighters, they cannot manifest at both points of impact simultaneously. Every millisecond lost in the decision-making loop is the exact moment the adversary's fire begins to consume the structural core. Iran is not attacking the batteries themselves. They are attacking the strategic obligation that Washington has committed to its allies. As the sheer volume of data saturation at the twin vectors of NEOM and Abqaiq pushes ground-based launchers to their absolute physical limits, the Pentagon officially plays its hand. Abandoning any reliance on static missile sites, the United States pivots its posture toward a mobile, airborne kill web to seize back the tactical tempo of the battlespace. Heavy fighter squadrons of F-15E Strike Eagles and F-22 Raptors from Azraq and Al Udeid air bases scramble in unison, partitioning the upper atmosphere into a seamless, multi-tiered defensive shroud. Rather than permitting its allies to continuously burn million-dollar Patriot interceptors at a severe logistical deficit, the F-15E Strike Eagles intercept the inbound flight corridors to deploy an optimized kinetic filter. At a standoff range of 10 kilometers, the fighters utilize electro-optical targeting pods to generate high-fidelity coordinates, enabling the deployment of AWACS laser-guided rockets as a localized kinetic sieve. By shifting the engagement from high-altitude interceptors to low-cost tactical air-to-ground assets, the coalition systematically neutralizes the drone wave, preserving the heavy surface-to-air magazines for the incoming ballistic tracks. Simultaneously running alongside this kinetic liquidation is a flawless data orchestration sequence, as circling AWACS airborne early warning platforms construct a pristine, macro-level tactical picture and synchronize real-time targeting vectors across the entire strike wing via the Link 1.6 network. This architecture allows American pilots to comfortably prosecute targets in a total passive interception mode without radiating a single active radar pulse, completely denying the adversary's threat receivers any opportunity to geolocate the stealth formation. However, a highly competent state adversary does not fold into panic or blind retreat. Iran's coastal electronic intelligence stations silently log and measure the exact parameters of the engagement loop, charting aerial refueling windows, squadron handover cycles, and combat air patrol orbits to isolate a structural fingerprint in the American shield for a localized ambush from below. It is structurally identical to deploying an elite team of bodyguards to patrol a vast, high-value neighborhood to deter persistent vandals. The more predictable and efficient the security detail remains, the easier it becomes for observers in the shadows to map their habits, downtime, and the micro-vulnerabilities exposed during ship rotations or energy replenishment. The American shield has adapted flawlessly to neutralize the swarm within a sustainable economic equation, but the adversary is no longer evaluating the drones being swatted out of the sky. They are meticulously documenting how that shield breathes across the stratosphere. The Pentagon decides to conclude this high-attrition game of cat and mouse across the theater's airspace. Shifting away from hunting or counting individual wooden drones in the sky, Blue Force initiates a digital dissection of the adversary's entire core command and control architecture. An active reconnaissance phase is deployed with near-instantaneous execution, as 5th-generation F-35 Lightning II fighters activate their passive, unradiating electro-optical and infrared sensor suites, cross-synchronizing seamlessly with RC 135 volts per watt, rivet joint strategic electronic reconnaissance platforms to execute wide-spectrum scanning and continuously remap the enemy's digital signature network. Every frequency-hopping communication profile and intermediate encrypted telemetry stream connecting the kamikaze swarm to its coordination cells is passively captured to mathematically interpolate the exact geospatial coordinates of the origin source. The moment this detailed electromagnetic map is illuminated, a decisive decoupling strike is instantly initiated as a specialized EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft injects megawatts of tightly focused, narrowband jamming energy directly into the adversary's relay frequencies. The chain reaction triggers near instantaneously. Dozens of drones in mid-transit over the Red Sea collapse into a state of absolute neural amputation, completely stripped of their flight orientation, spinning aimlessly in a mathematical void before plunging straight into the desert sand due to the absolute loss of real-time synchronization with the border relay nodes. The localization of the neural route seals the engagement loop as the mission computers of circling AWACS platforms and multi-layered military satellite constellations fuse the captured spectral signatures, extracting the underlying transmission algorithms to pinpoint the precise geometric coordinates of the hidden mobile command vans and fortified limestone bunkers nestled deep within the desert ridges of Iraq and Yemen. Instead of sitting back to count and attempt to filter each single spam transmission appearing across the command displays, the United States deploys tactical IP geolocation algorithms to hunt down the primary servers of the network, finalizing fire control configurations to systematically pull the plug on the adversary's entire operational hub across the theater. The moment the coordinates of the neural routes were locked via the network data link, the Pentagon pulled the trigger. A multi-layered system-wide counterstrike was activated on a strict 12-minute strategic cycle. From the vertical launch cells of Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, SM-6 hypersonic missiles erupted into the dawn. Rather than engaging the drones in flight, these interceptors trajectory mapped straight into the mobile command vans and relay nodes that had just betrayed their position in Iraq and Yemen. The resulting kinetic impacts achieved absolute neural amputation, instantly killing the adversary's ability to coordinate the swarm. Simultaneously, F-15E Strike wings release smart JASSM glide bombs from a safe standoff distance. With sub-centimeter accuracy, the penetrator warheads drilled directly into the apertures of Houthi underground carbon fiber storage hangars, the primary hideouts for thousands of unassembled drone components. A chain reaction of secondary detonations converted the entire strategic reserve into a massive cavernous inferno. Simultaneously, AGM-88EG AARGM anti-radiation missiles saturated the coastline, neutralizing the primary target designator radar arrays near Bushehr. Deprived of guidance and severed from the command uplink, the swarm in the Red Sea experienced an immediate digital blackout, becoming inert ballistic debris before impacting the shoreline. Now, if you want to continue following the strategic strikes of Operation Epic Fury, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Goodbye.